Welcome to Smart Cities Week 2015. I'm in the studio today with the U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Julian Castro. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
One of the hallmarks of your administration has been collaboration, innovation, and partnerships for change. One of the things that I found very interesting is this partnership that you're working on between HUD, Department of Transportation, and the Environmental Protection Agency, which calls out the relationship and the need to integrate our efforts. Why is that so important in creating vital smart cities?
That kind of collaboration is so important because if we want to create opportunity for folks wherever they live, whether they're in urban communities, in small towns, or tribal communities, these days it's not enough to just focus on housing, improving housing, creating more affordable housing, or making sure that we have better schools or better access to transit or a cleaner environment. It's that you got to do all of those things. I remember when I was a young council member in San Antonio about 15 years ago, one night there was a woman at a budget meeting that we had who came up to me and told me that her mother had diabetes, and because of that her doctors wanted her mom to walk the neighborhood, but her mother couldn't walk the neighborhood because there were no sidewalks and because there were dogs that made the neighborhood dangerous. For me, that really ingrained in my head that the best communities in terms of creating opportunity get that all of these things are connected. Our infrastructure investments, good schools with economic opportunity, access to transit with making sure somebody can get to their job. So at HUD, we're focused on partnerships with our fellow federal departments like the EPA, Department of Transportation, Department of Education, and we're challenging local communities to mirror that kind of collaboration, to work with us in that way.
You're not just bringing together different organizations of interest, you're also working on bringing in access to affordable and clean energy, for example, into communities that might not otherwise be able to access these kinds of resources. How are you doing that?
You know, we're excited by the President's leadership, particularly on the issue of climate change, embracing renewables, cutting energy usage, ensuring that we have a generation of Americans that is able to both benefit from green jobs and also do the environmentally responsible thing. So HUD, for instance, is part of leading the Better Buildings Challenge in terms of multifamily building owners. We've signed up something like about 90 multifamily building owners that may have more than one building across the United States, oftentimes they do, to cut their energy usage by at least 20% over the next decade. So we're challenging the public sector in terms of our housing authorities to become more energy efficient. We're also challenging the private sector to become more energy efficient and collaborating with both of them.
It seems like philosophically you really see this as a livability issue, but there's an undeniable connection to economic vitality. And transportation, for example, has always been, lack of good transportation infrastructure has been a way that communities have been isolated in the United States in the past. And so taking this kind of, this partnership approach, collaborative approach, sounds like it's not just about improving our living conditions, but bringing in everybody to help contribute to livable cities of the future. What is your vision for the city of the future, especially when we think about improved infrastructure and access for everybody?
When I think about the city of the future, as HUD Secretary and also as a former mayor of San Antonio, I think about a place that does a great job of including everyone so that the opportunity landscape physically within the bounds of the community is spread out for everyone to enjoy. In other words, you have good schools, you have good access to transit, you have good retail and grocery stores and parks and recreation centers throughout the community. I also think of a place that connects educating folks well to providing the jobs of the 21st century, and a city that is livable and unique and vibrant and that is able to do that in a way that recognizes the challenge that we have with climate change in an environmentally responsible way.
Secretary, you took your time out today to come speak at the keynote today at Smart Cities Week. Why? Why do you feel like it's important to get involved with these sorts of groups like the Smart Cities Council, and what are you hoping to contribute in terms of vision?
I came to the Smart Cities event because I'm very impressed by the collaboration that is happening out there. The principles of these smart cities in terms of being inclusive, being environmentally responsible, using technology to make people's lives better, to improve overall quality of life. And I want folks to know that HUD wants to be a strong partner with these communities as they pursue smart policies that make a difference in people's lives, that enhance opportunity and improve quality of life. Oftentimes, frankly, the federal government has this image of this staid bureaucracy,
right,
and we want to break through that. We want to change that. We want to work with local communities in results-oriented ways to say, hey, how can we do things more efficiently? How can we promote economic opportunity? And how can we do it in a way that recognizes the environmental responsibility that we have as humans?
This is Carol Stimmel in the Smart Cities Week studio. I want to thank you, Secretary Castro, very much for joining us and sharing some of your thoughts about what a smart city really means to us as people. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.